Jed, when you're done, can you put down your camera for a moment?
You can go back to taking pictures now.
All right, let's put our hands in Gasho and chant 3 times.
Namu renge yo. Namu renge yo. Namu renge yo.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming today for Kikan. We are celebrating Kikan today, which is the spring and autumnal equinox, when the days and the nights are of roughly equal length. And we celebrate this time period as a time period to remember our ancestors and those who have passed. Because again, the idea that the night, symbolic of death, and the light, symbolic of life, are of equal lengths. Reminds us that we are in that middle path between the corporal and the spiritual. Today I'd like to talk about the concept of dukkha. Now dukkha is a Sanskrit word which we translate to mean suffering, or displeasure, or discomfort, or annoyance, or attachment. It's very complex word, and it could be translated from very minor things that are just irritations all the way up to major things that are major tragedies. But in Buddhism, to say all life is suffering is not how we refer to it. The Buddha referred to it as all is dukkha. And this concept of dukkha, of suffering, we initially take to mean the physical manifestations of suffering, or the mental manifestations of suffering in our lives, that we didn't get what we wanted, or we got too much of what we wanted, or we didn't get enough of what we wanted, or we're in pain, or all of these things. But that's the basic lower level of dukkha, of suffering. What the Buddha says in the Nirvana Sutra is that dukkha, that sense of suffering or dissatisfaction, comes from actually not from those things that we associate with the uncomfortabilities of life, but really with not being exposed to the Dharma, not being exposed to the Buddha's teaching is where suffering comes from, according to the Buddha and the Nirvana Sutra. Because those uncomfortabilities of life, that dukkha, is just part of life. You know, that's just the way things go. And it's when we forget that we start to suffer. And how do we alleviate that suffering? Well, the Buddha gives us several ways. And the irony of which, the true way to alleviate suffering is actually to spread the Dharma. Because the Buddha gives name to the 3 poisons: greed, anger, and ignorance. Right? Greed is wanting more than what we have, or wanting to keep what we have longer than we have it, right? Or being envious of others who have what we don't, or maybe they got something that we really don't want, but because they got something and we didn't get something, we want some of that too. Anger, right? Where does anger come from? Well, anger comes from it's your reaction to not getting what you want or what you desire, or someone else doing that. It manifests itself, and it usually starts with fear. Right? Fear of losing it, fear of not getting it, and then you feel indignation about the fact that you didn't get what you were supposed to get. And usually that's a result of you trying to defend this thing. that you call self, your ego, right? That you're trying to defend to keep it from being wounded and hurt by someone or something, or you're trying to clothe it, not just with one set of clothes, but with as many sets of freaking clothes as we can get, right? We're trying to house it, not with just enough, but with as much house as we can get. And then ignorance. Well, ignorance is really not knowing the Dharma, right? Not understanding that everything is in transit, right? Everything is constantly changing. It's transient. And the Buddha talks about this in the Lotus Sutra, in chapter 10, the teacher of the Dharma, where he says that in order for us to be able to preach the Dharma, we must first enter the room of the Tathagata, which means that we must have great compassion and gratitude. Well, how do you combat greed? You combat greed with compassion and gratitude. When you give, when you take part in another's joy, sympathetic joy, you get so much more. And we've all experienced this when we've given something to another person selflessly, be it our time, be it money, be it anything. Alternately, we have that opportunity here at the temple when we give to the temple, whether it's our labor and our time, whether it's money, whether it's incense or candles or these wonderful scones that Jerome likes to bring that I just adore. We get to feel that joy of giving, which tamps down our greed of self. So once we enter the room of the Tathagata, experiencing great compassion to combat our own selfish greed, then we are able to put on the robe of the Tathagata, which means to have great patience. And it's through patience that we combat anger. How many times have we written an email in anger when if we had waited 24 hours, hell, if we had waited 10 minutes, right? We wouldn't have done that. Patience is what combats fear and anger. Understanding that this too shall pass. I can deal with this. As Buddhists, we're tough. We put on the armor of endurance and we deal. We cope. We accept the world as it is. Jiso. Ultimate reality as it is. Not how I wish it was, but how it is. I stubbed my toe, and right now, instead of me going, damn it, why did I, of all people, have to stub my toe? When in actuality, I stubbed my toe, there's a cause and effect reaction, I'm feeling a physical sensation that is transferred to my brain. It is not the universe punishing me. It just is. I stubbed my toe. And I can try to push that pain away, or I can collapse into it and I can go, oh, that's a very sharp pain. That's a very dull pain. Oh, that's a stinging pain. Oh. But it does not define me. I am not the pain. It just is pain. If I give it voice then and pay attention to that and categorize it, that quickly I'm able to get past it. Which means that we don't have to say, like, I feel anguish or loss over losing someone or something. We don't have to be these iron people that have no emotions as Buddhists. It's not what this is about. It's about feeling it totally and completely and then letting it pass as it should. Because if you've ever tried to stay in a state of anger, you just can't do it. It's a real bitch. You really have to work hard to stay mad. Right? And then once we've entered the room of the Tathagata, having great compassion to fight our greed, once we put on the robe of the Tathagata to have great patience to fight our anger, well, then we have to sit on the seat of the Tathagata, which means to see the voidness in all things. To understand that everything is changing constantly, us too. When most people, prior to receiving the Dharma, look at a tree, they think, oh, that's a tree. A tree is this. But after you're given the light of the Dharma that lights your candle when you first attain enlightenment, you understand that's not just a tree. That is a dynamic process that is constantly changing. That was a seed that through causes and conditions like water and the right soil and rain and sunlight became a sprout. And then that sprout became a bush, and then that bush became a tree. And then as that tree grew, what was inside that tree gradually worked its way to the outside and became the hard bark. And then that hard bark was sloughed off and new bark was created. And eventually, as that tree stands, it is not the same tree that it started when it was a seed. It looks nothing like it. It doesn't have a single cell that is the same as when it first started. And when that tree moves on its own way, it will produce more seeds, and those trees will grow as well. This is the understanding of the voidness of all things, that everything is interconnected, but nothing is permanent, and nothing is static. Everything is constantly changing. That's what combats ignorance. So when we attach to things, and we think this should always be like this relationship should always be like this, I should always be like this, we're forgetting nothing is constant. Everything is in constant flux. So what I want to ask everyone to do is to start centering your life on your practice, not on all this other stuff that is constantly changing. Because the Dharma, the understanding that all life is constantly changing, that it's through compassion that we find peace and happiness, and it's through patience that we can alleviate the suffering in ourselves of others. This is the point. What are your priorities? I jokingly told Kaishin this morning when I called to wake him up from being asleep was, Kaishin, you get up for work every day. Do I need to pay you to get up on time for temple? Think about that. What is your priority in life? Is your priority in life the acquisition of stuff, of titles, of acclaim? What is it that you center your life around? What do you center your practice around? Now, I don't say this to make anyone feel guilty.
No, we're not.
You're going to answer this for yourself. You're allowed unto yourself. You're your own salvation. I am not putting a moral equivalent.
You know what? He doesn't even realize. Well, that's Tony. He has
but what I have
realization
noticed is that by
that
following
what he said affected me that strongly. I mean,
centering your life on the Dharma,
he does no wrong. That's the way I look at
helping other
it.
beings.
He's always
Whether
right.
it's literally
He's
teaching them
so fucking full of himself
or
sometimes.
just reminding
I just
them
want to
that
smack
hey,
him. It's like, you
everything's
know what? You
changing.
cannot say
You're
things
really
like that to
just
people and then expect them to just roll over and, you know, say, oh, everything's
those
fine.
little things.
And he's done it many,
are
many times
enough to get
now,
people
and
to
I'm just tired of it.
to enlighten. Those little things are what help feed someone's Buddha seed and water.
I don't know.
But you need some seeds. Your seed needs watering too. So send in your life on
Yeah,
practice
he wanted to go see AC/DC.
every day.
And it's like you had told him. I know you sent me the thing before. You said you were going to California. That's why I'm wondering, was he like drinking that night?
Yeah,
when he was
I do.
texting
What I'm
you?
asking
Well, I thought his
is that everyone
texting was kind of
who's interested
floppy,
today,
and I'm like,
I'm
well,
gonna keep asking
I
this.
know it doesn't have a smartphone,
I'm gonna
but
put out a
he's
sign-up sheet.
it's not been that sloppy, so I'm thinking
and
maybe
your
he was
email,
drinking
and
wine or something.
let's
I don't know. Sometimes he'll
Have a chanting
sit
club.
home and he'll just drink some wine or he'll have some beers or something. I have no clue.
In this week. No,
So
it's support
It's-
for a practice.
yeah,
We do our
like listen to what
practice
people
every
have
day.
to
And
say.
I'm honest with you, I wasn't getting my practice
I
in
know.
the day until
Well, has he texted you since?
today. And I started doing the Shodaigyo practice in the morning. He had been doing this practice after he found it in Japan, our new Edo-based Shodaigyo practice. And he was very honest with me, and he said, until this day, until I started doing this every morning, like I would do full services, and I never felt that whatever it is come out of me the way that I do with this practice. And he's like, and I feel the joy every
Right.
day.
Same here. I'm not on that often either.
That's my joy. That's what I center my life on now. That's
Oh,
the
she
most important
was.
thing to me. If I'm late for my job, I don't care because
I'll have to
my practice was
work with
important to me.
them.
And if I don't want to be
You know,
late for my
Facebook,
job,
friends,
I'll get up earlier for my
text his
practice.
daughter.
But my
She's my
practice isn't
goddaughter
gonna be what
anyway, so
suffers.
that's, you know.
Because the material acquisition of things and of titles and of acclaim is less important to me than my practice. So I'll adjust everything else, but I'm not going to quit my practice. So every morning, center yourself on your practice.
Yeah, well, he rarely goes on.
You're basically saying, man, I take refuge in the fact that this world is the Pure Land right now, right here. That I'm going to enjoy this day, and I'm going to suck the marrow out of life, and I'm going to help everyone around me suck the marrow out of life too. And I'm going to understand that in difficult situations, that person that's across from me is having the same kind of problems that I myself have dealt with, will deal with, or might deal with. Okay, let's chant 3 times. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. So begin with silent meditation. Place your hands in Hokai Tomi, out of your Brahmapitra. Thumb in the roof of your mouth, just behind your top teeth. Straight. Wholeheartedly we bow to you, who was persecuted in Tokyo for spreading the Dharma at the risk of his life as the original disciple of superior practice, the great founder, Nichiren, the great Bodhisattva. Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see and partake of the fragrance of the world of tranquil extension. Please open your Blue Dharma books to the invocation on page 5.
Honor be the great mandala, the perfect circle of all honorable ones revealed by our founder Nichiren Shonin. Honor be the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, our original teacher, the Lord of the Dharma, our great benefactor who attained enlightenment in the remotest past. Honor be to the Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the wonderful Dharma, the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the one vehicle. Honor be to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, dispatched by our original Buddha. Honor be to Ringe Ajari Nichiji Shonin, the first overseas missionary. Honor be the protective deities of the Dharma. We honor all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. See us with the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of chanting the sutra and Namu
Aijoge. Verses for opening the sutra. Please turn to page 9.
The most profound and wonderful teaching is presented in this sutra. This sutra is difficult to meet even once in thousands and millions of aeons. Now we have been able to see, hear, receive, and keep this sutra. May we understand the most excellent teaching of the Tathagata. The most excellent teaching of the great vehicle is very difficult for us to understand. We shall be able to approach enlightenment when we see, hear, or touch this sutra. Expounded is the Buddha's wisdom. Expounded is the Buddha's truth. The letters composing this sutra are the Buddha's manifestation. Just as perfume is taught by something put nearby, so shall we be richly benefited by this sutra, even when we are not aware of being so benefited, because infinite merits are accumulated in this sutra. We can expiate our past transgressions, do good deeds, and attain Buddhahood by the merits of this sutra. It does not matter whether we are wise or not, or whether we believe the sutra or slander it. This sutra is the most wonderful and most excellent taught by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. May we meet and receive it, birth after birth, world after world.
Please turn to page 11.
Oengekyo, Oben Bondai ni, Niji se son ju san mayan no ni ki go shai hotu shogu chi e kin jin u yo go chi e won nan ge nan ye sai shou yagushi bitsu shogu no shi Holy Shara Bitsudo Shinyan Yakusen Man Yoku Jushu Sho Bitsu Shinyo Sho Bitsu Yo Sho Yu Yo Sho Jin Yo Sho Won Yo Ju Jin Jin Ni So Ho Tri Sho Setsu Shu Nange Shari Hosu Go Ju Go Bu Shi Ai Shu Ju Min Men Shu Ju Ji Yu Ko En Gon Jo Bu Shu Ho Ben Shin Jo Shu Jo Ryo Ri Sho Yaku Jo Ri Sha Ga No Hai Ho Ben Shi Ken Hara Misu Chai Bu Soku Shari Hosu Nyo Dai Shi Ken Ko Dai Jin Non Mu Ryo Mu Ge Ri Bu Sho Ri Sen Jo Ge Datsu San Mai Jin Yu Mu Sai Jo Yu Ri Sai Ki So Bu 我下一要去就来有去分开是有在手空地让那是心下一要是有空地就有人地就有是有是下一要是三十九以下那是手就去在一起给难给以后你不是有不是难有不进手你手手你手有谁手有谁手有谁才有谁地有谁三有谁有谁 N 有谁大有谁多有谁红马是有多手一手有谁手有谁手有谁才有谁有谁三有谁有谁 N 有谁大有谁多有谁红马是有多手一手有谁手有谁有谁才有谁有谁三有谁有谁有谁他有谁有谁红马是有多。
Please turn to page 35.
Oringekyo, Odai Juro, Hondai Juroku, Jiga Toku Bujurai, Shogyo Shoko, Shuburo, Yaku Senman, Oku Saya, Soki, Kosen, Koyo, Temu, Shuroku, Shuro, Ryo, Yuro, Buzuro, I do no 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 and can you can come to go to your shari can die and go ni so as go shin to go east. Yunan Ishin Yoku and Fuji Shakushin no Ira Yushu So Kushu Yosen Daji Goshu Jodo Zai Shiku Matsuri Oren Riko Kendu Matsuru Matsu Yoku Shuko Kyo Shinyo Shadabu Okiku Isetsu Yo Yoto Sumon Shizani Nametsu Raken Shoshu Motsukai Okukai Koku Enshin Ryoto So Asugo Ningo Shinren Nai Shitsuri Seppo Jinzuri no Se Oa Soki Go Shozai Do Jusen Kyo So Shu Kengo Jindai Ka Shoujo Chi Ka Shi Go Han
Please turn to page 49. The Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the Wonderful Dharma, Chapter 21, The Supernatural Powers of the Tathagata. The Buddhas, the world saviors, have great supernatural powers. They display their immeasurable supernatural powers in order to cause all living beings to rejoice. Subjects of their tongues reach the heaven abound and innumerable rays of light are emitted from their bodies for those who are seeking the enlightenment of the Buddha. The Buddhas do these things rarely to be seen. The sound of coughing on the Buddhas and the sound of their fingers snapping reverberate over the world of the 10 quarters and the round of those world fractions. The 6 ways the Buddha's choice will be displayed their immeasurable supernatural powers, because the Bodhisattvas from underground how to keep this sutra after my extinction. Even if I wait for innumerable kalpas, the keeper of this sutra, to whom it is to be transmitted, I cannot praise him highly enough. His merits are as limitless as infinite, as boundless as the skies of the world of the 10 quarters. Anyone who keeps this sutra will be able to see me. He also will be able to see many treasures through the Buddhas of my replicas and the Bodhisattvas
Buddhas of my replicas, and also too many treasures. Buddha who once passed away, he also will be able to see the present, past, and future Buddhas of the world of the 10 quarters, and offering to them and cause them to rejoice. The Buddha sat at the place of enlightenment and obtained the hidden. For anyone who keeps the sutra will be able to obtain the same before long. Anyone who keeps the sutra will be able to expound the meanings of the teachings and the names and words of the sutra. Their eloquence will be as boundless and as unhindered as the wind in the sky. Anyone who understands why the Buddhas expounded these sutras, who knows the position of the sutra in the series of sutras, and who expounded after my extinction according to its true meaning, will be able to eliminate the darkness of the living beings of the world where he walks about, just as the light of the sun and the moon eliminates all darkness. He will be able to cause innumerable bodhisattvas to go finally in the one vehicle. For the man of wisdom who hears the benefits of these merits, and who keeps this sutra after my extinction, will be able to attain the enlightenment of the Buddha definitely and doubtlessly.
For today's spoken instructions from Nichiren Shonin, please turn to page 89. Put your book over on the back side, finish with page 89. Appearance of Buddha nature. Okay, Shoshin Jobutsu Sho. A singing bird in a cage attracts uncaged birds, and the sight of these uncaged birds will make that caged bird want to be free. Likewise, the chanting of Odaimoku will bring out the Buddha nature within ourselves. The Buddha nature of Bonten and Taishaku will be summoned by the chanting and will protect the chanter. The Buddha nature of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will be pleased to be summoned. For attaining Buddhahood quickly, one must lay down the banner of arrogance, cast away the club of prejudice, and chant Namu Renge Kyo. Now we'll chant Yodaimoku. Please place your hand in the gacho. Amen. Yorenge Kyo. Amen. Yorenge Kyo. Amen. Full day. Page 66, please. The difficulty of retaining the sutra from chapter 11, beholding the stupa of treasures. It is difficult to keep this sutra. I shall be glad to see anyone keeping it even for a moment. So will all be honored because he will be praised by all because he will be our man of valor, our man of endeavor. He should be considered to have already observed our precepts and practice of the he will quickly attain the unsurpassed enlightenment of the Buddha. Anyone who reads and recites this Buddha in the future is a true son of man. He shall be considered to live on the state of purity and good. Anyone that will my extension who understands the meaning of this Buddha will be the eye of the world of God, and anyone who exalts this Buddha even for a moment in this dreadful world should be honored with offerings by all gods and men. Page 68, please. I'm a link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now ends my happiness and misery. May every link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may all obtain perfect peace. Today's next goal. We humbly consider that the wonderful teaching of the middle way, Dharma nature, is the wonderful Dharma of the original cause and original effect of the perfect harmony of the three truths. The Tathagatas of the past, present, and future realized this and attained the unbreakable Vajrabhadya. Shakyamuni, the world-honored one lord of the teachings, expounded this Dharma and names it Yo-ho Renge Kyo. This is the great Dharma of extinguishing the defilements by pouring upon them the sweet Amrita of the Dharma. This is the great direct way of reaching the other shore and attaining Buddhahood in one's very body. Today is the midweek of the fall equinox, We chant the wonderful sutra, observe the service, praise the wonderful Dharma, and hold a lecture meeting. We offer these things for this superior meritorious occasion of Higan. Regarding all sentient beings, if there are any who have yet to abandon greed, may they do so. If there are any who have yet to abandon hatred, may they do so. If there are any who have yet to abandon delusion, may they do so. May all sentient beings abandon the one-sided and wicked views of the mundane and supramundane and follow the correct middle way. May all sentient beings keep apart from dust, abandon suffering, and enter the Bodhi way. May we, the practitioners of this faith, become devout, upright, and gentle, and never lose our reverence for the three treasures: the clergy, the laity, practice and praise the Buddha together as one. Our efforts in faith and practice continue to develop. The aspiration for awakening continues to grow. And through these efforts, may the wishes of this life and the next be satisfied. Also, may all the former head ministers of this temple and our various temples develop the virtue of the Bodhisattva way that is wonderful and perfect and approaches and enters the Great Awakening. Through our adornments, they have been reborn in a better world, and in that way, we requisite their favors and appreciate their virtue. With this merit, the spirits of the deceased who are related to this temple's members and followers, and all spirits in the ocean of the Dharma realm, whether related or unrelated, can increase their awakening across the great ocean of samsara and reach the other shore of parinirvana. May they achieve the sublime great reward atop the pure land of Eagle Peak. Today we remember in memoriam those in sickness and distress first: Issa Simmons and Carmen Laverne, Damian Reddick, Wendy Prevost, Jason Wellman, Jesse Schaefer, Lotus Meshi, David Mills, Gail Bull, Dave Watson, Beth Watson, Gabe Benitez, Victoria, Jesse Travis Burnham, Scoop, Lynn Bigelow, Jamie Lynn Woodside, and her son Benjamin Woodside. We remember Dawn Robinson and her loss of her husband recently. In memoriam, we remember Maria Valentin and Jean Knott, Julia Petrikowski and Cheryl Sissy Jones, Stella the dog and Maggie Herman, Ming Chi, Elaine and Joe Winter, Jack Parker, Terry Paquin, Bill Mears Sensei, Aunt Barbara, Kazuko Jordan, Cheryl Cushman, Patrick Scanlon, Don Robinson's husband, and Mother Coleman, who recently passed. May the merits we have accumulated by this offering be distributed among all living beings, and may we and all other living beings attain the enlightenment of the Buddha. And may the Dharma realm be equally benefited. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. She say the four great vows. Ujomu Ensegando.
Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all.
Onomu Shusei Gandan.
Our defilements are inexhaustible. I vow to quench them all.
Omon Mujin Seganchi.
The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to study them all.
Utsuro Mujo Seganjo.
The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime.
With this body,
Until I attain Buddhahood, I shall maintain my faith in the Lotus Sutra. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo.
So. Suigan Sho Venerable ones, remember us, be where you like, and come again out of your compassion towards us. Let's end as we began, silent meditation. Please place your hands in the eyes of you. I'll take a round of the Thank you all very much for coming today. Thank you for chanting so hard. Today, for our ancestors and for those who passed, we have some lovely treats. We have some scones that Jerome bought, and we have some cider donuts that our President Nathan brought for us. And so let us enjoy those and put everything together. If you wouldn't mind taking a picture today, we haven't taken one in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so I wanted to take a picture today so we can let people know that we met. For those of you at home, thank you for being here. I very much appreciate you and your practice. Thank you.